Good morning. This video is brought to you by Steve Winkelman at Doing and Going from a gift he sent me. And I think the title of this video will be Units and Measures. And that's probably wrong, but I'm no mathematician, let me tell you. I didn't care for school. School didn't care for me. We were both glad when I parted company, trust me. I would like to go back just for a few minutes, except those teachers are dead. The teachers that look at you and tell me there's going to come a day when you wished you were back in school. That day's never got there yet. Anyway, on with the video before I make this thing last forever. Steve sent me a tape measure. This is a standard tape measure used for many things. Carpentry, measuring this, measuring that. We all know what they are. We've all used them. They come in lengths from 3 feet. What would be the metric equivalent of that? Oh, this isn't metric. This one is straight inches. Here in the U.S., we have inches. That's what that is. They come from 3 feet to 100 feet if you want them. This here is a little stick ruler used carpentry work. I've seen them use them. I guess you didn't there again. You'd use that for anything. I don't really use those, but that one was there, so I said, well, I'll get it up, put it in. Made in the USA, Miller's Falls. That's got some age on it. This here is a log rule. And what it does, when you cut logs to sell to a mill, you have to leave 6 inches of trim. This is already in it, right there. If you measure this out, this comes to 2 feet. But no, the trim is not in this one. I am wrong. Right? Yeah, I am wrong. The trim is in it. There's no down to foot. You have to go. If you're cutting a log, 8 foot is the shortest you sell. You would wheel this out to 8 foot, somewhere in the area of 6, make a mark, cut your log off. Or if you're going 16s, 14s, 12s, 20, 24s, I think this goes out to 32. Handy little, hey, that's, somebody carved their name in that. I'll have to Google that name, Gordon Petiti. Gordon, P-E-T-I-E. Ah! I never noticed that on there before. They had scratched their name on it. Okay, Steve sent me this one. I got it. I said, oh my God, it's a beautiful little log rule. I didn't even own that one at that time. I wheeled it out. I'm hoping you can see that. I said, what the hell is that? Didn't have a clue. I wheeled this side over and I looked at it. Now this one is, you measure logs this side all day. But it is in tenths and not 12s. There's 10 units. Engineer's rule. There's 10 units in a foot instead of 12. Which, you know, alright. 2.5 would equal 3. 6 on this would be 6 on a normal one, right? No, 5. 5 would be half. 5 would be, half a foot would be 5 on this. But we're not going to get into all that. That's not important. That's engineer's rule. This side had me perplexed because I've always lived in the Northeast. Our trees don't grow that big. And I'm going to figure this out. So as I've got more time during the winter, there's a model number on it. C120TP. First thing I did, I went to YouTube, punched in, nothing. No mention of it at all. I thought, well, that's odd because everything's on YouTube. So then I went to Google, typed it in, came right up. I almost tipped over when I saw what they sell these new for, Steve. You may want this back. I don't know. That's up to you. They're almost $100 for most of the ones I saw new. And I thought, well, this has got to be important. If somebody's charging $100 for a tape measure, what does this measure? I finally figured it out. It doesn't say much on it. Lufkin, chrome clad, model number. But somewhere there was circumference, C-I-R-D-I-A, written with it. Well, that's what tipped me off as to what this is, and when I tried it, it is so true. As we all know, and those that don't, I'll just say it quickly. Circumference is this. Diameter is this. When you measure around a circumference. This is the other one. Now what is it you can do? I kind of remember a little bit. Pi r squared 314 blah 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 blah, and divide this by that gives you this. That's a lot of work. This right here, if you go out in the woods, you want to know the roughly bored footage in a tree, which you need to know the diameter of the tree. There is an allowance in here. Comes up. We're going to call it 10 because there is an allowance for error in here. But you're at almost 11, but we'll call it 10. Take the tape measure. It measures 12. But this is getting around. If you look at the top of this, this is not totally round. If you keep measuring other ways, all right, that one's down to 10. I thought I was 11 here on one of them. Anyway, that's what that's for. I was said earlier in the video, Steve, and I want to thank you so much because I do love this thing. Where Steve lives, they grow trees. Where we live, we grow toothpicks by comparison. A tree that measures 36 inches on the stump, and I'll get some arguments here in the Northeast, especially in the woods where you're logging, not out on somebody's lawn where this tree's just been allowed to grow. A tree that measures 36 inch here in the Northeast is one hell of a tree, and you're going to have most mills aren't going to want it because their equipment can't handle it. It's just too huge. Wallace, help me out here. I mean, if you're up in the Northeast, Vermont and Canada, the spruce trees we're sawing on a mill are this big. However, if you go out to the state of Washington, Oregon, and other places out there, I don't really know, so I don't want to. They cut trees that are huge, that are 6, 7 feet on the stump, and some of them are 12, 13 feet this way. You know? Well, here in the Northeast, we don't cut any trees that go up that size. I mean, I read about one that had 24,000 board feet of lumber. And that's what the diameter by length gives you. That is just so incredible. Around here to cut a pine tree, I'm going to say might do it. I probably have cut some pine trees that went 1,200 board feet. Most of the trees we cut around here are not going to average that. They're going to be in the 400 or 500 or less board feet range. Well, Steve, thank you very much. That's what that is. I finally figured it out. It took me a while. A lot of you are going to look at it and say, dumbass, I knew what that was the minute he put that out there. Well, I did not. Thank you for watching.